Alright, this is the system of linear inequalities notes. A solution to a system of linear inequalities, so write that in, a solution to a system of linear inequalities is an ordered pair that is a solution to each inequality in the system. Usually you'll just solve two inequalities, but you can solve 3, 4, 5 of them. Okay, and it has to be an answer to both, or all three, or all four, however many inequalities you're solving for. The graph of the system of linear, and there's supposed to be an n in there, but inequalities is the graph of both solutions of the system. Alright, so when you're graphing a system of linear inequalities, step 1, you graph each inequality, including shading all possible solutions. Remember to do your dotted or your solid lines. Step 2, find the intersection of the half planes or the shaded area. The graph of the system is the intersection. So, the answers are where the shading overlaps. Okay, so you're going to graph two inequalities and shade two separate areas. Wherever that shading overlaps is your answer to both for the system. So for example, okay, so I have y equals 3x plus 6 here. So my slope for that is 3, and I want slope to be a fraction, so it'll be 3 over 1. My y-intercept is 6. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go to the y-axis to 6, plot a point, then I'm going to count my slope. So I'm supposed to count, for positive, I'm supposed to count up and positive to the right, but I don't have enough graph up here to do that. Okay, so remember, a positive is the same as negative 3 divided by negative 1. A negative and a negative make a positive. So I'm going to actually count down 3. 1, 2, 3, and to the left 1. Okay, since this has an equal sign with it, it is going to be a regular line. Then it says y is less than. So I'm going to shade the less than area below the line. Alright, now I'm going to do the same exact thing for y is greater than negative x minus 2. So the slope for this is negative 1. And we'll make that into a fraction by putting that over 1. So there's a 1 here. And your y-intercept is negative 2. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to negative 2 and plot a point. And then slope, I'm going to go down 1, positive 1 to the right. This inequality symbol is a dashed line. And it says greater than, so it's above. So you shade both areas. So the area that is shaded in red and blue, this area here that is shaded in both the red and the blue, that's your answer. This shaded area is not part of the answer. This shaded area is not part of the answer. The part that's not shaded at all is not part of the answer. The answer is where it's both are shaded, the red and the blue. Alright. So another example, so I have x plus 2y is less than or equal to 4. I'm going to have to solve this first for y before I can decide what my slope and y-intercept is. So subtract x from both sides, and we'll have 2y is less than or equal to 4 minus x, and then divide by 2. So y is less than or equal to 4 divided by 2 is 2. Negative x divided by 2 does not divide evenly, so we just have a negative x over 2. And there's an understood one here. Okay, so our slope is the number in front of the x, the coefficient of x, so that's negative 1/2, and the y-intercept is the constant, the number all by itself, so that's positive 2. So I'm going to go up 2 for my y-intercept. My slope of negative 1 over positive 2 is down 1, right 2. And this will be a solid line. It says y is less than all that stuff, so less than is shaded below the line. Alright, then y is greater than or equal to negative 1. This doesn't have an x. This is one of the funky lines. This is actually going to be a horizontal line. Go down to negative 1. Draw a horizontal line. It's going to be a solid line. And then it says y is greater than. So the greater than area is up here. So your answer to this is actually this area that is shaded by both. Okay? This is actually where your answer is. Okay, it has to be shaded by the red and the blue. Alright. Sample 3. Okay, we can go ahead and graph this y is greater than 1/2 x minus 4. It's already in the correct form. The slope is positive 1/2. The y-intercept is negative 4. Okay, so I'm going to go to the y-axis to negative 4 and plot a point, and then count my slope up 1 over 2. And this will be a dashed or dotted line. Okay, it says y is greater than, so that would be shaded above the line. Alright, for this other equation, 2x plus 6y is less than 6. Okay, I have to solve this for y, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Get 6y is less than 6 minus 2x, and then divide by 6. Alright, so y is less than 6 divided by 6 is just a 1. That's your y-intercept. Then negative 2 divided by 6 does not divide evenly, but it does reduce to negative 1/3. And that'll be your slope, which you want fraction to be a slope anyway, so that makes sense. So slope is negative 1/3. That'll be down 1 to the right 3, and y-intercept is positive 1. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to positive 1 and plot a point, and then count down 1 to the right 3. This will also have a dotted or dashed line. And this says less than, so that's below the line. Okay, so again, the answer is this area here where they're both shaded. Okay, that's where the answer is. Not just the red, not just the blue, but both the red and the blue is the answer to both of these inequalities. Alright, in the last example, this one looks different. It says write the system of inequalities for the graph below. So this is looking at a graph and then trying to write the equation or the inequality. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm highlighting in black here. So you need to identify your y-intercept and your slope, and then you can put it in the y equals mx plus b format. So the y-intercept is pretty easy to see. Crosses the y-axis right here, so I think that's probably 5. The slope's a little bit harder, okay, but it's going down. I'm going down 1 and left, okay, or up 1 and right. So slope is either down, so that's negative, and left, which is negative. A negative divided by a negative is positive. So it's positive slope overall. But I'm counting down 1 to right here, and then it looks like it went left 1, maybe 2. It's kind of hard to see because the graph is so small. Okay, if I zoom in a little bit, it actually looks like it crosses right here. So that I think is left 2. Okay. So I think the slope is 1/2. It's real hard to tell sometimes depending on how big the graph is. So this equation though would be y equals slope would be 1/2 x. The y-intercept would be 5. So that's one of my inequalities for the system. Okay, then I'm going to do this other line here that I'm highlighting in blue. Okay, the y-intercept for this line, again the y-intercept is pretty easy to see, so that's down here at -5. And again, I'm going to try to count the slope as accurately as possible. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit, this might be a little easier. Okay. Alright, so from here it looks like they went up 1, 2, and maybe to the left. Okay, it looks like this is where it crosses another even box. So it looks like if I go up 2 and left 1. So up 2 is positive and left 1 is negative. So my equation would be y equals -2, or 2 over -1, x minus 5. Now these are the equations, but if I look at the shading, this first black line is shaded above and it's a solid line. So this inequality should be greater than or equal to. Okay, it is a solid line and it is shaded above, so that's greater than or equal to. The blue line is also shaded above, it's shaded up here, so it is also greater than. And then it's a solid line, so it's equal to. So when you write an inequality, make sure you go back and put in an inequality symbol, not just an equal sign. Okay.